So one of the questions that I had when I was talking to these high school groups last week was, were there any red flags? Were there warning signs along the way that that would have indicated that you were getting into an abusive relationship, or that this was not a good situation, that sort of thing? And there absolutely were. And I think that there almost always are warning signs. And for me, I can say that I explained them away with various things. And one of the big things, the big red flags in our relationship was that almost immediately, this person would do really grand things. He was very aggressive when he, tuned into this relationship. It was very aggressive, and there were really huge things that he would say, like that there was no point in being in a relationship if it didn't lead to marriage. So there are just really like hardcore stuff like that I thought were indications that he really cared. And I didn't stop and think about it being kind of over the top. I thought that it was romantic. And that's probably one of the earliest warning signs that I had. Another was that very early on in our relationship as well, I had to stop being myself. There were things that were just part of who I was that I couldn't express anymore. It didn't work for me. Ways that I respected and honored who I was, and just being a creative, outgoing individual, that I couldn't talk like who I was anymore around him. I couldn't be who I was. And I remember coming back from a trip one time, and it had just been the most amazing experience of my entire life up to that point. And his first response was, wow, you've really changed. Like, it was this awful thing that I had this amazing experience. And so I had to shut up about it. And there are a lot of things that I had to shut up about. It just didn't work for me in that relationship. And one of the other things that really didn't work for me was having relationships with anybody else, especially guys. There would be horrible emotional fits and fights and tantrums and attacks about me spending time with other people, but especially spending time with other guys. And again, I explained it away as being protective, that he was trying to protect our relationship, that he really cared about me, that he was maybe insecure, but he really cared so much. And I didn't really slow down and think about what that might mean other than that. And so, the connections that I had, I lost over time. And the alienation and the isolation of that just meant that it was even easier for him to continue in the behaviors that were unhealthy in our relationship, because I couldn't talk to anybody. I didn't have anybody anymore to bounce these things off of, or to know, or to have a gauge or resources. I didn't have any of those things after a while. So there are 3 big red flags that I had, and I'll talk about it more. We'll see what the response is to this video. If you're interested in knowing more about what happened along the way for me, I'm always really happy to talk about it if it helps anybody at all. You can always message me directly if you're not comfortable posting below, or in an open way that attracts attention to you personally. You can always message me directly in any of the various places that I am, and ask me to talk about other things. I'm more than happy to do that, and to address different things. So thanks very much for watching, and don't forget to hit subscribe. Check me out on all the various places that I am, and we'll talk to you again really soon.